So we first change our habits, have more time for spiritual practice, spiritual contemplation, very deep heart connection. If you are a tantric, very wonderful lovemaking and so forth, to create a life in which gradually all the moments are directed towards waking up. They are directed for the supreme meaning of a human life. So, once we understand, we start to renounce also in action. Yes, so we will continuously move towards renunciation and towards aspiration. Towards renunciation, towards detachment from this world, and towards loving the Absolute. First, don't renounce food. Yeah? This is not the first thing to renounce. Renounce your bad habits. You go with the very, very low first. Cut the complete outskirts of the ego. Cut first the bad habits. Yeah? Which are what? They are so far from your principles, you cannot acknowledge them. Sometimes you cannot tell your friends and your loved ones what you are doing, because it's so far from who you are. And yet there is this compromise there. It's really very, very transient, the satisfaction. Yeah, and this is bad habits, are habits in which the satisfaction is so transient and the damage lasts for so long. From porn to drugs to violence to I don't know what. So first, you have bad habits, good, renounce. Once you renounce the bad habits, next step, renounce wasting time. Do what needs to be done and take all the rest of the time to contemplate, to meditate, to practice on what is essential. After taking out all the stuff which is wasting time but is harmless, like hanging out forever, not having deep, meaningful contact, but hanging out forever, like watching excessive amounts of entertainment. Second, cut that out. And after that, all secondary hobbies which are nice and they have a little bit of a benefit, but compared to the big challenge, they stand in a very secondary place. Now, when you cut these habits, do it gently. Do it with love, with firmness, like a sacrifice on the altar. You sacrifice a little bit of superficial pleasure, a little bit of painkiller, for something immense inside of you, like they used to offer stuff on the altar. It's a beautiful thing. You don't do it by bullying yourself, creating a kind of father-mother figure and saying, you're a bad boy, don't do that, you're a bad girl, don't do that. No, I understand that I will suffer from the bad habits, from the wasting of time, and even from the secondary. Because if I don't make the inner shift, I will suffer upon suffer upon suffer, because everything that I will lose in this life, and I'm sure I will lose everything that I have, everything that I will lose in my life will hurt so much. But if I'm able to change the perspective gradually, then there will be more and more lasting happiness, peace and love, and less suffering and attachment. Now we decrease the attachment, we renounce the world, and we increase our aspiration. We increase our longing, and we'll give a few methods for increasing aspiration a little later down the line.
Please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, all of that stuff.
Second line of action. So we understand, we do the first line of action, and then the second line of action, we can move to the next slide. It's a beautiful picture of our mother, Mahananda Mai. Just really a goddess of a woman. You see, she was born like this, now that she's there in the picture. From the age of 4, she was like that. Sometimes she would go for weeks without eating because she would forget the world. And she would be fed directly from eternity. And her entire life she was like that. You very recommended to read her biographies, or even just to look at her face is already a spiritual practice. It's very visible. Now, the second line of action is an inward action. So we first change our habits, have more time for spiritual practice, spiritual contemplation, very deep heart connection. If you are a tantric, very wonderful lovemaking and so forth, to create a life in which gradually all the moments are directed towards waking up. They are directed for the supreme meaning of a human life. In the second line of action, we begin to renounce our thoughts, renounce our desires, renounce our false hopes, and particularly, essentially, renounce the false sense of security. Next time you open the site for your bank account and you see a lot of money, feel that rush of security. Or you see no money, feel that rush of fear. Yeah, we have this relationship with money, for example, that it will give us some kind of security, or with people. And understand how limited it is. Contemplate death. How limited it is, the security that worldly things offer. I got a new position, I got praise, I got so-and-so views, I got so-and-so likes. It gives a false sense of security. And the more we lean, this is like an undercurrent, the more we lean and find our security in transient things, this is a very big illusion, and it covers, it closes our hearts and souls. Now, by this stage, we will start to see wonderful results from the efforts we did before, and this will awaken us very much. We here can discern and see how, as Blandine mentioned, all virtue comes from this love, and suddenly we have more love and aspiration, but also we become courageous. We become full of faith. We become very forgiving, humble. Suddenly we don't care if people praise us or approve us, or it doesn't matter. My heart's somewhere else. It's like you were playing, you see, already in this stage, you get the feeling that you were playing a video game until recently. You were playing a video game of a false life with false motivations. And you were interested and investing so much time in meaningless things. When I was in kindergarten, we had this sand situation there. It probably has a name. And I would gather the sand, make a castle, and try to make it last for the next day. And then I say, okay, I put first water, and then I put another layer of dry. I remember myself, it was maybe 5. And then every day I would come in the morning and it would be gone. I guess somebody would scrape up all our palaces. But this was my continuous trial to create something lasting, over there. And in time, we will see very clearly how this connection to the thing which is really lasting awakens such wonderful virtues in us. Here in this stage, but we can do it of course from the first stage, we pray, if we have something to pray to, and we condition our subconscious, if prayer is not necessarily our thing, to love the Absolute, to love the Eternal more, and to decrease every day our attachment to this world. This is this very special prayer of Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna also mentions, and he says, everyone's attracted to God. It's like a needle that is attracted to a magnet. But the needle is covered in mud. The mud is all our worldly desires and attachments which hook what do they hook? They hook our wish for lasting happiness. They promise and they'll never ever keep their promise. And once you dissociate, you detach the wish for lasting happiness from things of this world, you clean the mud from the needle. He says, with the tears of longing, with the tears of love, you clean the needle from mud, and then the needle will return naturally. It will be attracted to the magnet, and it will go to the magnet until it sticks to it. The next line of action, certainty. There you can see very nice certainty in the eyes of Bhagwan Nityananda. Once we get all these wonderful results and we start to train our thoughts and desires, maybe to give an example here, you see your thoughts coming, oh, we had such a wonderful success and my business is going well, so wonderful, now I feel secure in that. And you feel something inside of you is relaxing into the security of money, name and fame. And if you discern in that moment and you say, this is not safe, how will this protect me from death? And if there is a catastrophe tomorrow and the business goes out, it doesn't. You don't lean. There is a temptation there. It's even hormonally in the body. Or you have a lustful thought. Oh, if I would only have sex with so-and-so. And then you can just contradict it. Yeah, when I had sex with so-and-so 7 years ago, what benefit did it give me? Now, 7 years later, do I have any benefit now? Anything lasting came out of it? Oh, I'll eat so-and-so. Anything lasting happened from eating, having a moment of pleasure, or having a moment of pleasure and entertainment? Just that. It's very simple logic. Anything lasting in that? No. Then let's focus on that which is lasting. Contemplate your supreme spiritual ideal. If it's God, contemplate God. You catch yourself thinking of something else, contemplate God. For what? Because the thoughts you had on God, if God is your supreme ideal, the thoughts you had on God 5 years ago, they are still here. The little bit of happiness, or maybe a lot of happiness that you have now, they are because of all those efforts that you made. That lasts. Yeah? You have a coin in your hand now, a resource, a certain energy. Where will you put the coin? Where it lasts and it will gather with all the other coins, or you put it in something and for a moment you have a rush and then the coin disappears and you never have it again. Where would you invest it? So the thoughts themselves have energy, and thoughts can become prayer, thoughts can become meditation, thoughts can become contemplation, and in the third stage we direct all our thoughts, our desires. Everything is directed towards that. Every thought becomes a thought of renunciation and of devotion. Now, once we're able to do this for a while, and it will come naturally because we are closer to the magnet, we move faster and faster and faster the closer we get to the magnet. Once that stage is accomplished to a good degree, we receive certainty.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content on spirituality, tantra and more.
And if you want to sign up for our online classes or for our retreats, you can see our website on the description below.